Before I start this video, I just want to give a huge thank you from the bottom of my heart for 2,000 subscribers. This achievement is unreal to me, and when I uploaded my first actual edited video about 6 months ago, I thought it would take me at least a year to even hit 1K. I'm so happy about the direction of this channel, and I don't think it could be any better. You guys are the best audience I could have ever asked for, and I hope you are as excited about the future of this channel as I am. I won't be doing a special for 2K, but I will be opening a Discord server, as a ton of you guys have asked me throughout the time I've had this channel to make one. The link to it will be in the description, and there I'll be posting little upcoming sneak peeks of stuff I'm working on from time to time and what my future uploads will be. I will also be fairly active there, so if you want to engage with me and ask me stuff, feel free to join. I won't drag this on any further, but seriously guys, thank you so much. I love you all. Let's get into the video. Hey everyone. So a few weeks back, I proposed the idea of making a video about my thoughts on how to improve your gameplay in a community post, and the majority of you said this would be cool to see. If you read the title, I assume you already know that this video is going to be about that, but before I actually get into it, I want to set a few things straight. First off, this video is probably not what you were expecting. When you think of a gameplay tutorial on YouTube, your anticipation probably defaults to some sort of guide telling you what to do and what not to do when it comes to making your gameplay. That is not what this video is going to be, as I believe those videos are highly ineffective at actually making you get better at gameplay, and they have been beaten to death. Instead, in this video, I want to help you get on the right track to learning from yourself and discovering your own style and gameplay mechanics. You can't be told how to make gameplay, and there's far from one correct way to make it, and I will be basing my tips off these principles. Now, this is pretty far-fetched from what my usual content is, so I apologize if you weren't expecting this, but I thought it would be fun to switch up my content a little bit. This video probably won't be as long as my usual ones, but I hope it's not too big a deal. So, to express how you can teach yourself how to get better at gameplay and to foster your own layout style, I have come up with 5 tips that I think can help you get on the right path to making your own original and tasteful gameplay. I'm not 100% sure if they will be super useful, but I do think if you honestly take them to heart and work with them, that they will be so much more useful than the other gameplay tips videos out there on YouTube right now. With all that said, let's get right into it. Alright, so the first step that I have come up with that you can take to make better gameplay is to make all sorts of different styles of layouts to different types of songs. A lot of people try to stray away from making layouts to random songs, as most of the time they will stop working on them after a day or two, but personally, I think it's okay to make an unfinished layout and learn from it. I've made tens of random layouts in my time, and I'd say 90% of them ended up unfinished, but there's nothing wrong with that. Even just making a few seconds of gameplay is enough to broaden your horizons and teach you what types of songs work best with your gameplay style. For example, if you limit yourself to only starting 1 or 2 layouts at a time but forcing yourself to finish them, you could trap yourself in a style of song that doesn't really prosper with your type of gameplay. For this reason, I believe that you should never be afraid to drop a layout if you aren't feeling it. Layouts that truly speak with your song expression style and musical tendencies will almost finish themselves, and limiting yourself to only making a few layouts that you make yourself finish can diminish your potential and not allow room for growth. Of course, if you take this approach, you need to be able to accept when a layout is not working for you and be able to drop it. If you do this enough, you will slowly start to understand yourself better as a gameplay creator and figure out what styles of gameplay or what types of songs work best for you. Once you start to get a grasp on understanding yourself, you can truly begin to flourish as a gameplay creator, and you will be able to create masterpieces that truly express yourself. If you limit yourself to finishing every layout you make in only a few song styles or gameplay styles, you will never be able to learn how you operate, and your layouts will likely always seem to be missing something. Filling this void of expression and mastery is most easily accessed by understanding yourself, which is why you should experiment by making a large variety of layouts. My next tip is to have fun with your layout structuring. Structuring is an often overlooked but nonetheless very important aspect of a complete layout. It is the glue that holds it together, and you should never rush through it if you want to have a neat layout that feels finished. You should do your best to experiment with different types and styles of structuring to see which one fits best with your taste and gameplay type, as finding a good fit for structuring is very important. Structuring is something that I struggle with myself, and I'm still learning how to get better at it. But one of the best ways to improve is to mess around with different types of structures while building on all sorts of different layouts. Understanding what structuring works best for you is equally as important as, say, learning what songs work best with your gameplay style, as without the right structuring your layout will seem to be missing an edge that could otherwise make the consistency and presentability miles better. This section is not as long as the other tips in this video, as there isn't much more to say about it, but I can't stress enough the importance of experimenting with your structures and making sure you do your best to fully fill in the empty spaces in your layout if you are aiming to make a finished, polished product. If you are stuck on what structuring to do, there are plethoras of different styles out there on layouts all over YouTube, and taking inspiration from them is no sin. However, it's important to keep in mind that you should always add your own twist to something whenever taking inspiration, as otherwise you won't learn anything. Structuring is truly the heart of your layout, and it is one of the most important components to keep your layout consistent and professional, and as such, it is important to take care when building it. The next thing that I think is important to making tasteful and eye-catching gameplay is knowing no boundaries besides the ones you set for yourself. I'm sure that makes no sense at the moment, but give me a chance to explain. When it comes to making gameplay in the community, there are certain aspects of layouts that are immensely frowned upon and regarded as aspects that will ruin your layout. One of the biggest examples of this is having invisible portals in your layout. Now, I am not saying that having invisible portals is a good thing, but hear me out. When it comes to my layouts, I don't like using things like invisible portals, but that's just my gameplay style. There are people out there who do use invisible portals in their layouts and still make awesome gameplay despite this. And what I am trying to say is that you should never not use something because the community as a whole looks down on it. You should experiment with all aspects of gameplay yourself, and if you find that invisible portals or some other gameplay style that the community doesn't generally approve of doesn't work for you, then you shouldn't use it. But again, there are gameplay mechanics that fit with different people's styles, and this is something that you have to discover for yourself. You can't just not use a gameplay mechanic because people don't like it. I think a really great example of something like invisible portals being used correctly is in Xylinox's and Para's gameplay. In 666 by Xylonox, there are invisible portals riddled throughout the level, and though this might be off-putting at first to the viewer, once you really play the gameplay and understand what Xylonox was going for, you can see the genius of it. If you want to hear more about 666, you can check out my level spotlight video, as I go in-depth about its gameplay and the mastery behind it. Para also uses invisible portals in a cool way, as some parts in his new demon Cold Sweat use them very effectively, capturing the vibe and essence of the song and overall level via the gameplay. Who knows, maybe your gameplay style could fit very well with a mechanic like that, or perhaps not. You don't know, and that's why I think it's really important to discover for yourself what works for you and to test out different gameplay styles instead of just disregarding them as bad. My next gameplay tip is to avoid conformity. There's a weird state in the gameplay market currently where the majority of creators have very similar styles when it comes to making layouts, and personally, I don't like it. We have somehow managed to fall into this funnel that has put us all in one style of gameplay, and not building in it results in criticism from the community. I think that taking inspiration from other people's layouts can be a really good thing, as it can progress your style and give you ideas if you are stuck, but you should never blatantly copy a style unless you are doing it mindfully. Nowadays, everyone uses the same gameplay mechanics, and while there are definitely outliers, the overall community seems to have conformed to this one way of making layouts. Now, I'm pretty sure that everyone who has played GD for a year or two understands the phenomenon of seeing gameplay in your head when you hear a song. However, when you try to actually translate these visions to real gameplay, it seems so much harder than it was in your head. I think this is where people start to fall into the trap of just conforming to the layouts around them and taking influence from other popular gameplay styles in the community, and I think this is a mistake. The visions that you see in your head are your style, your way of perceiving music, and how you view soundscapes. The only way to truly make original and good gameplay is to tap into these views and visualize them into actual layouts. And while it is hard, the more you do it, the easier it becomes. When you are getting started with layouts, it's best not to take inspiration. You should only do that when you understand your style and you are really in need for a creative break. If you just build your gameplay off what other people have made, you will end up just having the same style as them, and I think that is what happened to the trend of gameplay conformity in the community today. Truly amazing layouts come from your basic perception of music, and while tapping into this is not easy, you should do your best to discover your style and understand how you build gameplay before you start taking inspiration from other people, as to avoid conforming to them and destroying what creativity you had. My final tip for this video is to get a valid second opinion on your gameplay. Second opinions are some of the best things you can have, as they offer fresh input on your creation that will not be biased towards what you have made. Truthfully, though, I think a lot of people misunderstand the purpose of a second opinion. A lot of people, myself included for a while, get opinions from whoever is willing to give them and they change whatever they say, or don't change anything at all. These are both big mistakes, but I will start with the problem that is changing everything they say. When you make a layout, you are perceiving it in your own head. No one else will ever be able to fully understand why or how you did what you did when you made that gameplay. That being said, it is not hard to recognize when someone knows what they are doing when they make a layout. With this in mind, it is evident that whoever is giving you feedback won't fully understand your style and might override your expression with what they see as gameplay when they give their layout criticism. When you receive feedback, you should take a good amount of time considering, do I really want to change this, or is the person just not understanding the feeling I was going for? I think usually it is not hard to tell, as when you are mindfully making gameplay you can understand what you did on purpose and what was a mistake that needs fixing. But it is still an important step to take nonetheless, as some people just completely trash their ideas as soon as someone says that they are not a fan. This is a waste of your creativity and a waste of a second opinion. However, there is a polar opposite to this mistake. I've seen some people in the community ask for feedback on gameplay, and then never actually change anything. I'm not sure what the point of this is, if it's just that they wanted to show off their gameplay, but whenever you get a second opinion, you should always take advantage of it and not ignore it. You should think about it for a while and change what you feel is necessary, but not what you think isn't. When used correctly, second opinions can really spice up your layout and offer a different look that could spot the things you missed, but when used incorrectly, they can tarnish or leave your layout worse than it was before. Well, that's all the tips I have for this video. Again, I know this isn't my usual content, but I hope you guys don't mind the switch up. I really do hope this helps you guys, though, as tapping into your gameplay creativity is such an amazing experience that I hope everyone can feel one day. I hope this sets you guys on the right path to understanding yourself and your layout styles, and I wish you all good luck in your future gameplay creations. There isn't much more for me to say, besides another big thank you for 2,000 subscribers, and that my new Discord server will be linked in the description. I promise I'll be back to normal content soon, but I do hope you enjoyed this regular video. Thank you all very much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.